all the baggy stuff is in.
Yes. I mean, having a stylist is in. I feel like that's a goal of mine.
Shout out
Definitely.
to Coti Dominguez, who's
Shout
the
out.
one who's
Shout
always styling me.
So welcome back to the Millennial Mija podcast. I'm here with my friend Jorge. He's a writer, producer, director, a seasoned veteran in film festivals. That's what I read on IMDb.
Yeah, that sounds like, and I've only been doing this for 5 years.
Wow.
Only 5 years, yeah, because I've been into a total of about 75 festivals.
So you've been working.
Yeah, I'm a festival hoe.
You were not fucking around. You were here to work.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about my weekend. So what did you do this weekend?
I actually didn't do any. Oh no, it was my niece's birthday party. She's 6, and I hung out with her.
Family.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, all day. Yeah, I had cake and a lot of tacos.
Cake,
oh my god, it was so delicious. Yeah.
Dude, family parties are clutch for the food, and then you get leftovers. And
it was the first party since we're still during COVID, but it was the first thing we did since the lockdown. So
as a family.
I hadn't seen them since March 2020.
So that was a reunion.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was fun.
On Friday, I had the honor of being asked to be on the Homegirl Fox podcast, and I went out there to Montebello. Shout out to Fox. We made magic in that episode. We really she was a worthy adversary when it comes to interviewing, because she was like getting me here and there, and I'm like, she's asking good ass questions. But we definitely made magic, and I'm excited to see what else we create magic together, because it's for sure happening. The podcast was at a store in Montebello. That's her friend's store. It's called Limitless. They sell like shoes and clothes and everything like that. But they have a studio in the back that they allow her to use to nice. Do her stuff. And I think I love when friends are supportive. Mm-hmm. Like we need like a creative family.
Yeah.
Because your tia doesn't know shit about, starting a clothing brand, so it's like you need these kind of like business family members that you create that kind of help push you and you push them, and it's like this that's what I think a real true partnership is and a true friendship is, and I liked that dynamic over there.
And true support too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you need people that believe in you.
Yeah.
And it seems like they have that dynamic over there. So shout out to Limitless in Montebello. Saturday, I had a Season of Self workshop. So I do these self-healing workshops called Season of Self.
Okay.
And I know you're all about healing too. I listened to some of your stuff. So in 2019, everybody on this show already knows this, but in 2019, I decided to detox off medication I had been on for like 10 years. And it was like 5 different ones. So it was like a hard thing. I had to come down, and I had to like basically wake up to my life. And when I did, I needed something to kind of like live for, as you spoke about in your thing. And so the only thing that ever felt really good to me was teaching. And so it was just like I started just teaching about the things that I had been like waking up to my life. So this last one yesterday was called Honoring Yourself. Shout out to everybody that came to that workshop. It was via Zoom, but it might as well have been in person, because we were crying together, laughing together, like chopping it up like homegirls. And that was just like a really good like a good pot of positive energy to be in for 2 hours, and it's a 2-hour workshop, and it's $25. And I just feel like it's this, not just a financial investment, but it's like a time investment in yourself. It's like pure healing the whole 2 hours, pure community. It's supposed to, the idea of Season of Self is that we're all healing individually, but we can also do that in community sometimes. And when we do that, it speeds up the process for all of us.
Well, and then you're all synced, and it's you're giving a workshop based on experience, which is something that nobody else can do, because they can't speak on your experience. So that's beautiful.
About the podcast, I mean, the workshop was called Honoring Yourself, and in order to get to the honoring yourself, that comes at the very last slide, but we have to go through all of the things I learned that I was doing to betray myself in order to get to the learning how to honor.
That's powerful.
So it was a journey that we go on, but in this workshop I did something different, and I asked more questions, because usually I feel like it's a lecture. I'm like talking at people, and when it's their turn to do their assignments, they do it, and then we share about it. But this time it was like 50% more sharing from people, because I didn't want to feel like, oh, I have the power of being this all-knowing like Wizard of Oz, like all the wisdom that, because that's nowhere near. That's what the whole point is. It's a workshop
where everybody interacts and everybody shares their experiences. Yeah, that's actually really good.
It has more like 12 heads are better than one, so it's like we can all have something to contribute. And I want to say thank you to everybody who came to that workshop yesterday, because all the women in there, like, just gave me so much energy and so much confirmation that I'm on the right path, and that that I'm thankful for. So thank you for coming to my workshop. So that was Saturday, and then I was supposed to go to the TGN bonfire, which I had completely planned to do. I mean, I even had like a cute little outfit. Just want to put that out there. But I went to sleep after my workshop, and bitch, I never woke up. I woke up until 8 p.m. and I woke up and I was like, let's go get In-N-Out. I was all grumpy. And then I got the In-N-Out. I was happy again. And then I went back to sleep. So I was like, I needed that rest.
Yeah.
We don't prioritize rest.
You have
enough.
to recharge, you know?
Yeah.
Especially after something like something so, I call it powerful, because when you're in a workshop like that and you're sharing personal experiences, you get drained.
Yeah.
And you need to recharge. That's beautiful.
There's like a part of me that gets recharged from doing it, but then a part of me that also gets drained.
Well, you lose something every time.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad thing, you know. It's just you lose, you know.
There's a difference between losing something and giving it away.
Yeah.
Because that's my dad would always say was that the only way to keep what you've gained, the knowledge and the spiritual principles that you learn to be true, is to give it away to another person. And your job is not to micromanage what that person does with that information. It's just to continue giving it away. And I think that's something that you've been doing with your films.
Yeah. And it's a give and take, you know, you give and then you take something from that, you know, the same thing, you know, you learn from it. Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
So I want to get into, so you're promoting your very new film that I'm going to go to the premiere of. And I was like, there's a red carpet. Yeah. I have never. I'm so excited. I'm like, need an outfit ASAP. But I've never been on a red carpet. So first of all, how does it feel to have
that's Jenny. Oh my God.
Of course it is.
Oh God. Okay.
You
know. There was no. It's just like today, something, I believe in signs, and that's a sign for me today.
You see what song it is?
Yeah, that's it. That's a sign. I'll take.
That's a sign.
I can't really talk about it.
Confirmation.
It's a sign. It's a sign about something.
I feel the electricity.
Yeah, I would have cried. I love Jenny. Yeah.
So tell me, I want to talk about.
Yes.
So how does it feel, first of all, to be on the brink of sharing this film as a premiere? The film is called Melancolia. Is that how you say it correctly?
Yes.
Because I was trying to say that shit the whole day too.
Yeah, it's Melancolia, and it's actually, you know, I'm a little nervous because it's a really not rough, but like really hard film. It's about a school shooting, the aftermath of a school shooting. It concentrates in the lives of several parents, particularly one, as she's struggling with the year anniversary, and it's inspired by the Parkland shooting that happened in Florida a couple years ago, and it's a drama, but it's definitely it's a hard drama. I mean, you know, it was very difficult for me to make. I've been wanting to talk about gun control, and I've been wanting to talk about school shootings, but I actually didn't move forward until my niece was caught in the middle of a shooting at the Llama Mall a couple years ago.
Wow.
And you know, she's good, she's okay, nothing happened to her. But you know, waiting, you know, those 6 hours where we waited for people to get evacuated and just not knowing what's going on, really left something in me that I said I need to push forward and make this film. So I'm excited. I'm not sure how the audience is gonna take it. You know, and I don't want to say that I don't care, but I really don't, because I don't do films for that reason.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
I'm excited. Them because they need to exist.
Yeah, and I do them for me, you know, because there's stories that I have in my heart that I want to tell and I want to talk about, and I want, you know, if people like them, great, and if they don't, then okay.
Yeah, that I read a review. I think I've maybe been LA Times, something on your page, and it said, definitely don't watch this if you're in a bad mental space.
Yeah.
I was like, that means it's extremely powerful.
Yeah. And you know, that was you know, I actually like that review a lot, because it's a very it's not a graphic film, because there's no actual shooting, and that's the thing. It was very important for me when I was making this film, that I said I don't want to have a scene of the shooting. I think that Hollywood perpetuates that a lot, and they just do that for
shock value,
ratings, and for shock value. I wanted to make a film about the life of a hospice nurse, and how it's a little ironic that she takes care of people that are terminally ill, you know, and she kind of gives them the love that she couldn't give her child while she was dying. I think it just gave away a lot of the plot, but you know, you should still gonna watch it.
Yeah, I definitely am, and I can't wait. We're gonna be on the red carpet, baby.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited about that part, but I'm also excited to be watching a film by a Latino director.
Thank you. I'm excited too. I think that I wish there was more opportunities like that for because there's a lot of great Latino directors, very talented, aside from the three amigos that they're always talking about in Hollywood.
The three amigos.
Yeah, but there's a lot of talent, you know, out there, and I just feel really proud and, you know, honored that Hollywood is giving me this opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you've given it to yourself by being good. You
Thank
can't
you.
just, make something and hope for the best.
I
It
know,
has to be good.
which is kind of been actually, it's been kind of the way I've been tackling things. I'm like, hopefully it comes out, hopefully it's good. I tell people all the time, half the time I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, that's
It
because
just comes from the heart.
that's what talent is.
Mhm.
That's what pure talent is, when you just operate from that heart space
Yeah.
of this needs to exist. And so yeah, I want to talk about. So I'm just, first of all, I want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm happy for
Appreciate
you,
that.
and I cannot wait to see the film.
I can't wait for you guys to come out. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna definitely have to wear waterproof mascara, because I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when it did that warning about the mental space. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me check with myself. Am I in an okay space to see this? But
Yeah.
I think the review speaks to the poignancy of
Yeah.
the way the film was made, because there's films about the same thing that might not have been as taken as strongly.
Yeah. And this critic, actually, before he wrote the review, he called and he said, "Hey, I watched this film," and he said, "Every time what makes it really difficult is you keep pushing the envelope every time you make a film. Like there's like, it's like you almost have no boundaries." And I said, "Well, if I'm an independent filmmaker, I think it's my responsibility to tell the truth, to speak my truth. I'm not gonna make something and I'm sugarcoat it, especially because." I won't get too much into it, but gun control is an issue that's never going to stop because nobody wants it to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, not gun control, but the gun issue.
Well,
it's not going to stop,
It's very beneficial to a lot of people.
To both parties. So I won't get into that because
it's very lucrative. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said it, that's the perfect way of saying it. Yeah. Same thing with like other things like abortion and so on and so on. But,
it's a racket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about your early life and your childhood. Where did you grow up? Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico City. I grew up till I was 9 in Mexico, and then I came here when I got here when I was 9. Actually, September 16 was 23 years, and I've been here. So I grew up my entire from 9 to now. Torrance. I grew up in Torrance. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I was kind of like actually I was very shy, and I don't know. I feel like I was very introverted. Yeah. I wouldn't make eye contact with people. I get really afraid. Okay. And then yeah, I don't know. I was such a weird child. I'm still weird, but
same. The best people are. The best people are weird. What were you like? I mean, like, so you were shy was it shy like around people and then like extroverted at home, or was it shy all the time?
No, it was just that at home I was like talkative. I was always like super energetic, but I was the kid that would go to lunch and play with his Pokemon cards. Cards, yeah, and just like hang out like some like stairwell. And just
were you like the kid that ran to lunch?
No.
You know those kids?
No, yeah, no, but no.
The kids.
It's so funny because I actually want to have one of those. Yeah.
Dude, it's really good for your back. Like, I really wish that I would have made a different choice because I got bad back to these days.
So I remember starting my first day, people looking at me like, "Why do you have a luggage with you?" I'm like, "It's not a luggage. it's a rolly backpack." I was like, "You guys don't have those here."
From rolly backpacks to red carpets, baby. There you go.
And it's so funny because I for a whole year when I was in middle school, I would like pick up my lunch and I would meet up with this dude who would he would take my lunch. So instead of him like taking it from me, I would just be like, "Here it is." Like we had like a meetup and be like, "Here's my lunch." I'm
so you're like, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way."
Please don't say. I was that kind of person, and now I'm just kind of like.
He had an arrangement with his bully.
Yeah. Yes. I did.
A prior arrangement. Hey, look.
I was like,
take it.
But now I'm just like, why was I like that? I mean, my family always had my back. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's a different country, and I didn't speak English, so I don't know. But yeah. I was weird, definitely.
What did you want to be when you grew up as a kid?
Oh, I always wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to fly planes, yeah, always. But I couldn't do it because I'm like really blind, and also I'm undocumented, so I couldn't go to films. Flight school, airplane school, whatever that's called.
What inspired that that dream? The pilot one.
I've always liked the sky, and the real dream was to be an astronaut. Like I know some people say that, but I'm obsessed with space. I'm obsessed with space. Like I can't tell you that I know everything about it, but I know like certain things. And it makes me think how minuscule we are.
Yeah.
Like there's so much out there and I want to just go.
What else is fascinating to you about space? Tell me something off the top of your head.
Like I'll keep it very simple. Like how it takes 8 minutes for the light, like the sunlight to hit us?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it takes about 8 minutes and a couple seconds. So we could be dying in 2 years. Like the world can come to an end in 2 years if something exploded like far, far away and it's gonna hit its mark like in 2. I don't know. I have a feeling that the world's gonna end in 2025. That's why I'm saying that.
All right, so we better hurry up.
But
and
you know,
accomplish our dreams now. We only got so much time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get there. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. But that's what fascinates me, you know. Like for instance, it takes Pluto 245 years to go around the sun. So if we lived on Pluto, we wouldn't have birthdays because it takes 245 years just to go around.
But you could still celebrate your birthday.
You could, but our birthdays would, instead of like 12 months, it would be like 12 years to just be one, 2, 3, you know, like.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy.
Time is also a construct too, though.
Yeah, it is true. It's something to control, but isn't it fascinating though?
Yeah.
Like, let me move to Pluto and then
let me know how it goes.
Yeah, like
talk to Jeff Bezos and you can just go up there. Right. That guy.
That's another thing too. Like in the early 2000s, I remember we would talk about why don't we go to Mars, and the government would say, "Oh, it's just a piece of rock." And now everybody's such a hurry to go to Mars. It makes me think that the world is really going to end in 2025. I'm not going to get into that because I have a theory, but I won't get into that. I promise.
Or global warming is going to end it. Like we're going to end it because that's what we caused.
Yeah, definitely one or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's why I got obsessed.
Moving on from space, but I really love that about you. I love people's little fascinations. Yeah. I love that. Especially when it's like not related to what exactly they do.
I know.
Like, yeah. It's like their thing. So you left a legal career.
Yeah.
In order to pursue the dream of becoming a filmmaker.
Right.
How did you find yourself on the legal path?
So when I was in college, like I said, I was undocumented, and there was only certain careers that I could pursue, and DACA wasn't around. So then I thought, well, I'm gonna major in political science and get a degree in law. And I just found myself really drawn into debating and talking about policy and talking about immigration. So I thought I did get into law school, and I finished it. I just didn't take the bar. And my idea was to one day work at Capitol Hill as a lobbyist, or just work at a firm. But then I was going through a transition period in my life where I felt so misunderstood, and I ended up watching Black Swan, and it changed my life.
Yeah.
I don't know how it did it. I mean, now I know now, but then I didn't know. And it's just a film that I kept watching. And then I said, well, my excuse was to say, I need to make films. Right. Mm-hmm. And that eventually became what my career is now. And I like that it happened that way because had I gone to film school, I would probably be very meticulous about it because I'm a perfectionist. I've been told. I don't think I am, but I'd be like, ooh, like Spielberg doesn't do it this way because this is what I hear all the time. And to me, it's just like, I know nothing about films. I break the rules, and this is what I'm making. And if you like it, great. And if you don't,
dude,
congratulations.
Having no information sometimes is the greatest blessing, because when you don't have any information, you can't operate by any rules, like you said.
Yeah, and
because you don't know them.
And looking back at like Black Swan, the reason why I gravitated towards it is because it's a film about, people think it's just about like ballet dancing, but it's actually poetic. It's a film about an artist who's obsessed with being perfect, and it leads her to self-destruction. And that's exactly what I was going through.
Yeah,
I wanted to be like this debater and this lawyer, and I was really perfect, for my family, and be the first in the family to go to college. And it just came to a point where I said, screw that, I don't need to be perfect.
Yeah,
I just need to do what's right. And that was making films.
Yeah. And so the first is the first film you made, Blue Line Station?
Yeah, that was my first. I did it with the phone.
And you did it with the phone, and there was a video that was called "How to Make a Film with $100." You really made that film with $100?
I did. That's all I had.
What did you spend the $100 on?
Food.
Wait, so I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I had to print the copies for no. Keeping you alive to make the film.
Yeah, we spent it was 11 days, so I had to break it down. And then the last day we didn't have money because we spent it on 10 days. It was like $10 per day. So then the 11th day, someone I guess saw that we looked, I guess, like we were struggling, and they gave us food.
Aww.
Yeah, like I went to a diner. I was like,
shout out to that person.
Yeah, I went to this little diner to shoot one of the last scenes where they're eating like ice cream and stuff, and I was like, can I shoot here? And they're like, sure. And then I had like Cheetos, I think, and that's all we were playing with. And the guy was like, do you guys want food? And I was like, sure. And he brought us like a bunch of stuff.
Aww.
And that gave us production value, which is really cool. Yeah, I didn't have a penny to my name because I had just survived a suicide attempt, and I didn't have money. I lost my car, I lost my apartment, I lost everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have a phone. I had like an Android, and my mom actually gave me her phone, which I still have, the iPhone that I used to shoot this film.
The 6 Plus.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I have 2 actors and they want to work with me. They like the script. I was like, why don't we do it? I was like, I don't need permits. I mean, my whole thing is like, if I'm alive, I had this idea in my head. I was like, the only thing that I could be good at is killing myself, and I couldn't do that. I was like, well, then let me just use my life to do something better. And I went out and I did it. Like, wow. I got on the train. Like, I didn't even pay ticket. Like,
that's a big one.
Let me tell you something. There were some cops, and they how they ask for tickets at the train. they were like super chill the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't know how they saw me. They were probably like, "This kid is weird," but let's just help him.
Well, all of that was creator. All of that was God. All of the ancestors holding your hand through this whole process.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because I always talk.
And I just want to say I'm so happy you're still
here.
Oh
no, thank you. Yeah, I would
that
talk
was
about
2015,
this.
right?
Yeah,
I seen that. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah. So last time I talked about this in the show, I like broke down crying, but like now I feel like I've healed from it. And I talk about it, and I tell people that I can't stop you from doing something, but what I can tell you is that you could do much more.
Yeah.
You could do much more while you're here. So. And that's important.
You gave yourself I mean, you got a second chance.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm like just 5 years old now.
Yeah.
I really do feel that way. That's why like I'm no longer like afraid of anything. I don't care about things that I can't control. And I go on the day to day. Like that's all I do.
Okay. I hope y'all writing this down because those are the facts. Because the fearlessness. Okay, so fear is the thing that we have to overcome. I talk a lot about this stuff in my podcast. I talk a lot about healing, recovery, and self-control. And because my theory is you can't love yourself till you like yourself, and you can't like yourself till you know yourself. Yeah. So that's why I'm on the season of self. I'm trying to get to know myself and hopefully inspire others to do the same. But all of this stuff we talk about, like recovery and healing, and it all ties into your story. Yeah. Yeah. It all ties into your story. And I want you to tell me about that part of your life if you feel comfortable. I guess tell me about the darkness before we talk about the light. Do you not remember? I
do remember, but not that I think about it. It's just like it was just things that they're probably not big of a deal. It was like my very first relationship had come to an end, and then like also I had lost my job, and then I feel so misunderstood.
Series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, I feel so misunderstood. I feel like I still feel that same. By the way, I'll explain what I mean with that. I felt like I didn't belong on this earth, and I still feel that same way. But it doesn't push me to how it pushed me in 2015. Now it's just like I was having a conversation with that yesterday. I went to see him, and he's a hardcore Christian, and he doesn't agree with a lot of things my views. But I was telling him, well, at the end of the day, like I believe in energy, and I think that I was meant to come to this earth to do something bigger, something, and it doesn't have to be financially. It doesn't have to be just something. I've always believed that I'm gonna be in history books somehow. And it's like it's not a matter of me or my ego speaking. I just know that for a fact because wherever I walk into, I'm always so blessed. Like I hear about these stories how there is a lack of representation in Hollywood, but I walk into these rooms, these really powerful rooms with like really powerful people, and I don't get treated the way other people talk about Latinos getting treated, right? Which is not right. We should all get treated the same. We should all be given the respect that we need when we walk into a room. But it's also, I think, the energy. There's like some kind of energy, and what I do is I play the game. I play the game with these people, and then I make sure that if I get pushed forward, I bring my people, and then I bring along. I create more opportunities, and that's how I kind of gravitate, if that makes any sense. But the darkness doesn't really do anything to me anymore. And whenever I get to that point where I feel like I'm gonna get depressed, I have this like ritual where I'll stand in front of a mirror and I'll say, okay, I feel you, I see you, but you don't belong here. So then I let it happen because it's a process, the human process. My brain has to feel it, my body has to feel it, and it's like it's like a reset, if, in a way. Yeah. But it all starts with energy, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll show him how to play that sound bowl with his energy. And like it's like a vibration. Yeah. And it's when you're talking about walking into those rooms and like what is it like? That was a question I had down here. What is it like to be a Latino in those spaces? And like the film festivals, like Hollywood in general is just a white institution.
Yeah.
Right. So any branch the film festivals or the the award shows or whatever it is that you're participating in, what is it like to be in those spaces?
It's so different because festivals are always fun. I've never experienced anything in festivals where actually I don't think I've ever experienced any kind of other way of treatment when it comes to just in general. But then again, I am just starting. I've only been doing this for 5 years, but I always talk about like claiming your power, learning how to say yes and no. Walking into a room and realizing that you're going to walk into the room for something that you don't have. So don't make plans with something that you don't have. And an example would be like, I remember having a meeting at a big agency, and the meeting didn't last more than like 5 minutes because they said, well, what can we do for you? And I said, absolutely nothing. Because the attitude, I was just like, well, it's not, we're not going to vibe. I was like, you don't come into a room and say, what can I do for you? Like, what does that mean? Right. So it's like, I always talk about being, having integrity and saying, no, I walked away and it was something that I didn't have, that I really wanted, but I didn't have. And I was totally okay walking away. But then there's moments where you walk into a room and things that would generally take months happen instantly. And it's just, it really depends. Again, it really depends. The universe and the higher power up there really knows where to put you at the right time where you need to be. And it's part of the journey.
And it's easier for you to trust that now than it was when you were in that dark place.
Oh, 100%.
Like, because it's like we know the same things to be true, but depending on where we're standing in our life, it looks differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, you claim your power, and in a way you learn how to live with that. I mean, it's important. It's important that you said something earlier, how to like learn how to believe. No. What was it?
Love yourself.
Love yourself. Yeah, but it also starts with a believing in yourself. It's like if you walk into a room and say, "Oh, I made this film, but it's not the best film," I'm not interested. I don't want to watch it then. Because if you're not putting, like, I'm not saying you should come in and say, "Oh, it's one of the best selling films," but you should be proud of what you did.
Confident.
That's when people tell me, I had someone, a critic, who said, "You shouldn't be promoting something that you made with $100." I was like, "Why not?"
Who would say that?
I was like, "Why wouldn't I promote that?" Why? I mean, it's something that I made.
Proud of, something you're proud of.
And beyond that, it's my work. It's like, it's my resume, and it's also what I've done. You might not like it. That's fine.
Well, it speaks about you too, because people who know that it doesn't take $100 to make a film. So it's basically saying, like, look what I made with nothing, and it can compete with the people that had budgets.
Yeah. I mean, I made a film about my mom's life that we made with $1,500. And it almost got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Iron Lady. You're Iron Lady, right?
Yes, and it was competing with these like motion pictures that spend like $3 million to make, right? And that's incredible because, I think people see it from the outside. It's like, oh, this guy thinks he's the shit, right? No, I just think that if I'm able to do it, someone else can too. And if you don't know how, I'll be more than happy to help you. And that's what people don't understand.
Yeah. That
it's not only about me. Actually, it's never about me. Half of the time when people talk about me or say things about me, it's not about me. It's more about them.
Yeah.
And I just accept that. And I just wish people would see the bigger picture. Me stepping into these rooms and getting into these places is not just for me. It's
Are
for all
you referring to kind of criticism that you've gotten?
Good and bad criticism. Colleagues, just people in general when they have an opinion about certain things, right? And I was talking about this Friday, like it's like you cut those people out, but they continue and it just keeps going on. It's like a snowball effect, But the bigger picture is when I'm able to create something and I'm able to achieve something like the Golden Globes, it's not just for me, it's for everybody. And if these certain people can't see it that way, then it kind of just says why we're kind of like lacking too. Some of the big studio heads that have not given me that green light, not that I deserve it, and I've talked about this, but that have not been so easy to like move forward with projects have been Latinos, which is really sad, like really powerful Latinos. And I always talk about this. It's not that I deserve it.
Well, they're gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And they think that it's necessary for them to control the way the Latinidad is viewed by the public. Like they have it's like they treat it like a huge responsibility, but then don't treat it like a responsibility because they turn people away that deserve space. And that gatekeeping shit is some real.
Yeah. So that's why I'm excited to see how it goes this year.
Yeah.
With like awards and stuff. Alessandra, the lead actress in Melancholia, she's amazing. Like, she deserves to get nominated for an Oscar. And I keep saying it. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
I keep saying that because she really, like, this is a woman who took a 7-year break from her singing career, from her acting career, to be with her daughter. And now she comes back with this film. And I don't know. It's beautiful.
The performance is just top tier.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. Well, I mean, it has to be because of that review. I mean, because of what it seems like too. Even the trailer is like emotionally intense.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So also in another film I looked at, Valentina.
Yes.
that's a badass woman right there. And I just saw the
Yeah,
trailer.
Victoria. She's my
She was she on
Rica Famosa Latina.
Rica Famosa Latina?
She was.
That is my show. Okay.
I love that show too.
Okay. So we'll talk about that later. But talk to me about that film, because that's a badass woman character right there.
So that was my second film, and I remember Blind Station was going through the festivals, and I said, well, maybe I can do this. So then I decided to write a script, and me and her actually met back in 2013. That's when I decided I want to make films, but I don't count that because I didn't actually start until 2016. And I tweeted her. She was very nice. Went to have dinner, and then we became like family. Like she's like a sister now, and we talk all the time. So then she had seen Blind Station. We watched it together. We cried because she was really proud that I had always talked about making a film. And she said, well, maybe we should make one now. And I was like, cool, let's make a film. So I wrote the script, and we shot that in 7 days with $500. And the film went to become something that I never thought it would become. I mean, it went to open at the Berlin Film Festival, which I didn't understand the magnitude until about 2 years ago. I was like, oh, Berlin is like a huge festival, right? And then, it just pushed me. I mean, it pushed me. It opened more doors for my career. And I became I became the director, the Valentina director, which is really interesting. And it's a film that I just it's such a simple concept. I remember it.
Say a little bit about the film because I didn't.
Yeah. So the film's about a woman who's bringing her daughter from Mexico, and the coyotes end up kidnapping her, saying, well, if you don't give us more money, we're gonna just not give you your daughter. And she says, what? And it's such a badass movie because she goes after these guys. She goes after these guys, and then she finds out that that one of the coyotes is actually her best friend's boyfriend. So then she kidnaps her best friend, and she says, F you.
Gangster.
She kidnaps her with a gun, like gunpoint, and she says, F you. I thought we were friends. She tells him, if you don't give me my daughter, I'm gonna kill your bitch ass girlfriend.
Wow.
She says,
no, but she gangster her way through the whole trailer too. Like you see her just like
she steals a car.
Does she have that gun, or she stole that too?
No, she has that gun. Which is that's a funny part because there's in the scene, like she just pulls it out, and people would always ask me, why would she carry a gun? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I just feel like she would,
Yeah.
Like I just feel like she would. And making that film was so much fun because you need permits to even to shoot with fake guns. I did not know this. We were running around LA. The cop there's a scene where two cops in the movie. There's a scene with two cops in the movie. They're real cops. They saw us running inside the metro station. I told them, oh, I'm making a student film. Do you guys want to be in it? And they were like, sure. I got them signed NDAs and releases, and they came out in the film. And I was like, cool. And every time I tell the story, people was like, you really got cops to do that? I was like, yeah. I was like, I did.
They wanted their 15 minutes too.
Yeah, I just asked them, but it's such a badass film. And then I'm actually doing a sequel to that.
To Valentina?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're doing Valentina too. Yeah.
So okay, so talk to me because and I noticed so far I've seen the trailers for these films, and it seems like there's these strong female characters.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what women mean to you in your life and the women that are important to you.
Yeah. So I was just gonna get to that, like how the reason I started making films is because my mom. I always see her how she's always she went through this really like difficult marriage, and she came out of it, right? And there's moments where she tells me these stories, and I'm thinking, you could have been dead, right? And she's like, yeah, and but it just wasn't meant to happen, right? So I remember when I wanted to do Valentina, I asked her, I was like, Mom, like I want to make a film about this woman who likes looking for a daughter, but I don't know. I said, what would make you go crazy? And she said, not knowing where my kids are. She goes, if one of you got kidnapped or something when you were little. So she kind of helped me come up with that idea.
Off.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, okay, I need to write this. But all of my films are inspired by women because we all come out of women, right? Like we wouldn't be here without women. Life begins with women. So it's like that's the reason why I started my production company, Mighty Aphrodite Pictures, and we concentrate in making work about women, stories about women, stories that empower women, and stories that that speak to people like my nieces, because they're gonna grow up and they're gonna be watching all these movies with, no offense, but like white women. And their experience is probably not going to be the same. And it's and not that we're going to go through kidnapping or anything like that, right? But it's good to know that like these things happen on the day-to-day basis. And I just want to make films that represent the people that I live with, that I grew up with.
Yeah.
So that's why I make those films.
I love that.
And I grew up with 3 women, so my 2 sisters and my mom.
There's a lot of this energy, huh?
I love her.
This is where we see. We just. I feel like we connected. And then Hector Rosario, he texts me.
Oh my God, is that Hector?
He said Jorge is a dear friend. I love that you guys are connected. We love you, Jorge. Me and Hector actually met on Clubhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
So I directed a video for his client Leo. Yes,
right?
yes.
Shout out Leo. Shout out Hector.
He's gonna be at a premiere.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, there will
I
be.
can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him. The Clubhouse. Have you gone on Clubhouse?
Never. No. It's
Dude.
just I'm so like.
I invited
you. Did, but
that's
then
how we met.
Okay, so I have to tell you, like, I went on it and I got anxiety from it because I was like, what is happening? What do I do? What do I listen? Like, how do I work this?
Can they see me?
That was a question. I was like, can they see me? I was like, I hope not. And then my manager was laughing. He's like, you should do it. And I was like, one day. I'm a millennial. Not that it's a bad thing, but like I'm getting to the point of like, I don't know. I don't want to say it. I just feel like.
You feel like an elder millennial? How old are you?
I'm 32. But
Bro,
I'm not.
I'm 33.
I know.
Gonna be fine. So Clubhouse is basically like this. I mean, you know what it is. You go on there, you listen to people talk. Yeah. But I was so surprised that I actually made like real friends off of Clubhouse. Jackie's one of them. Valentina, Arlene, like these people like actually kick it with. Okay. And but it's what I like about Clubhouse is that I'm pretty good at listening to people. Yeah. So I like listening to people to see who they are. Like I like to hear the way they think, and so I like that you get to because it's a bunch of people sharing opinions, and most of the time they have like professional settings, but the rooms we met in were not professional at all. So it was just us kicking it like if we were in a backyard somewhere, you know. So and then we eventually after the pandemic, I mean, we still in the pandemic, let's be honest. But then when everything lifted, we all met up and hung out at whose backyard? What's his name? My God, I fucked up right now. Rick. We hung out at his backyard. This is also something I listen to like before every podcast because it's just I need it to pump me up. Wait, do we have any comments?
Oh my God, that's the medley too.
Oh, it's the medley. I mean the disco medley. And you want to know why this inspires me so much? Because it inspires me so much because first of all, she has a broken nail. Let's start there. And second of all,
her earring falls too.
Her earring falls. She can't get her jacket off. And this specific thing inspires me so much because it reminds me to let go of the expectation of perfection because there's nothing that's not perfect about that performance. Yeah. And it's like, it just reminds me, like it empowers me so much. Just like, I feel like that's because we growing up didn't have that many Latina, to look up to. And she was just a strong, powerful figure in all of our lives, and those are kind of films you make.
I know, and I think about like, and I don't like to think about that, but like, where would she be right now? If she was here right now.
Oh, man, let me check these comments. We have. Oh, see, there he is, Hector. There is a chat. Shout out Hector. Said you bring light. Someone says you bring light, which you absolutely do. So
I love that. I love that. This is my favorite thing. I listen to it a lot.
This is it right here.
It makes me want to dance. She's so like.
We just vibe out to this. Yeah. And I really hope Selena's dad doesn't kick us off the fucking live. Abraham. Fucking Abraham. Did you watch the Netflix series?
I did, yeah. Moises Zamora, actually, one of the creators. I know him.
Okay.
Yeah, in the industry. I mean, we're part of a collective, and when I heard that he was doing it, I was so happy because it needed to be told. Yeah.
So how did you feel about the way it was executed? Like, how did you feel about the series?
You know what? I would say that the first season was a little challenging for me to watch.
Same.
But just
it was the Abraham show.
Well, it was a Wigs for me.
And the Party City outfits.
Yes.
No, that's fucked up because that was really angering though because it was like no, not Bridgerton, with the whole iconic wardrobe. Like damn well you could throw some more money up in there. Like don't play with me, Netflix.
And the second season was good. I have a lot of opinions about it, but what I will say is that I'm proud that we were able to have someone in the industry, Latino, be able to bring this to life because we know the difficulties of what it is to make a show. Mm-hmm. So I'm proud of them.
That's real. And that there was like a lot of debate in the Latino community about this film. And it's kind of like how you were saying, like the people that have gate kept you the most are Latinos. And it's like we do that to ourselves. And look, man, I don't have the answers, but I just like to point out the problem sometimes because I think it's like, what do you think we need? What do you think we as a community, Latino, Latinx, what do you think this community needs to in order to unite?
I think we need to stop creating collectives. I think we need to stop creating you know, all these diversity programs, and what we need to do is actually get together and do something. Let's create something. Let's create let's help, not help, but like empower and push each other to do something. Because we can I say words, bad words?
Please.
we bitch about the lack of inclusion in the industry. So we create these collectives so that we can go bitch in private. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
To each other.
Yeah, and it's like I'm part of a couple collectives. I don't even know if I'm still part of them because I keep getting invited and I just keep not going. Because
and honestly, talking shit about them now, so maybe
maybe they're gonna be like, screw you, bye her head. But like, honestly, like I it doesn't mean they're bad people, and I get it. It's difficult.
You just feel like that's not the answer.
That's not the answer, no. And I think that if we can take something from the Black community, how they came together and they put their egos aside and they were able to create something, I think we should be able to do that. But it always comes down to, we're Latinos from different places, so we don't understand each other.
Well, it's
how
further
about
division.
You forget about where we're from and just remember the bigger picture that we need to create.
Yeah.
Which is what needs to happen. But I've always been told that I'm wrong, so I'm going to shut up now.
Well, you're not wrong on the Millennial Mija podcast, okay? On the Millennial Mija podcast, Selena is the president.
Yes. And Jenny's the vice president.
Yes. No, Jenny's the Secretary of Defense. Because she don't fucking play.
I like that.
Yeah,
Attorney General.
Yeah. No, actually, on the Millennial Mija podcast, we don't have a government.
Okay.
It's chaos. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Anarchy.
I like that.
So I want to talk to you about, like, I've heard you talking about believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a workshop on it, but I haven't even gotten enough. I don't have enough wisdom on it yet. So I like gather it from the people that I see believe in themselves. I'm like, okay, tell me what you know. Like, how do you do it? What does it take for you to believe in yourself? Like, I know it took to 2015 but like, on the days where you don't, how do you keep going?
Well, for me, I'll tell you my specific experience. To me, I was I remember myself always encouraging people and saying, I believe in you. Do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And then in 2016, when I decided that I wanted to make Blue Sensation, I decided I wanted to make it in March, but I actually didn't make it until about June or July because I was still doubting myself. And I remember I said to someone, well, you have the tools to make and it was something about a blog. I think he was trying to do, a friend of mine. I was like, you have the tools to make it because you know how to, create websites and this and that. And he just kept finding every excuse not to do it. And I thought, well, if I believe in him and he doesn't, why don't I use that energy and, push it towards me?
Man.
I was like, why? Like, why not, And then I started looking at it from a business perspective. I was like, well, if I'm going to buy like a pair of shoes and I'm going to give him the money, why don't I build my own shoes? Which I can. But I was thinking, like, if I don't have money, why don't I just make my own shoes, right? It was kind of like a metaphor, And then I started thinking, okay, well, I want fries, but I don't have $5 to go get them. But I have potatoes, why not cut them and make it for myself? So it was just kind of like these metaphors that I kept like coming up. And then I came to a point where I said, I'm going to continue supporting people and pushing them, but I need to push myself first. And I actually went away for a whole year while I was making Blue Sensation. Like, I disappeared. I just stayed home and worked.
Okay.
And like, because I had to learn how to edit. So then I learned how to edit and I had to
so you had no at all, like never
Nothing.
Even iMovied it out for a project for college or nothing?
No, I talk about how like I had Final Cut Pro, which is the software that I used to edit. I had the torrent version, like I downloaded it illegally.
Final Cut Pro X?
Yeah, that's but I had downloaded it illegally from like one of those torrents. And I actually didn't buy it until last year for Melancholia. I was like, I can afford it. I can buy it now, right? So I bought it, but I always talk about how like I didn't know, like I would dump footage from my phone and just like it was so common sense to me. I was like, well, this looks like a little knife, which means I can cut the video here. And this is like,
it was very intuitive.
It was just kind of like looking into how to put together a little file. And I was like, well, maybe if I cut this here and I put it here and I have to match it. And that's how I learned. So I went away for a whole year. And that's how I talk about believing in myself. Because I could have been like, okay, I shot this film and I have all the footage. Now I need to find an editor. Where do I find an editor? You know?
Yeah.
Because I've heard that story so many times. I know someone who actually shot a film in 2017, and they still haven't like finished editing, you know? And I offer,
Valentina, finish your film, bitch. finish it. Yeah, well, she's been looking for an editor forever.
It's
all this
hard.
time. No, look, that's my friend, and I want her. That film needs to exist. She did a documentary in El Salvador about MS,
Ooh,
like
that's interesting.
MS-18.
Yeah.
But so in this, sorry, ADHD sidetrack, guys. She goes into, there's only one way out of that gang, and it's through this one specific church in El Salvador. And so if they go through that church, that's the only like way that the gang lets them exit through this. And so it's like a story about a man who leaves the gang and his life, and it's just an important story that needs. And the only thing that's holding it back is a goddamn editor.
It's hard, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, because I've been editing all my films, all of them. I still edit all my films. I do all of them to end. I even had to learn about sound design, which I didn't know, which I'm still not very good at, but I had to learn, you know, the basics. And it all came down to like telling myself it's common sense. Like, how do you make mole? How do you make pozole? You know, like I have.
There's a recipe.
You just you just like go online, like YouTube it, and that's where like believing in myself started. You know, because if I don't believe in myself, no one else will. No one is gonna believe in me. You know. So.
And you know from the thing with your friend that even when someone does, it won't matter.
Yeah, because it's like, well, you know, they'll believe in you, but it's like things won't happen.
They can't move your arms and legs for you to do shit for you. You know. That you said on another interview that you were a huge advocate for mental health.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about
Well, you know, when I say that I'm a huge advocate for mental health, I mean I'm a huge advocate for speaking. You know, for speaking in general. Oh my God! And yesterday I was actually having a conversation with someone. I hope he's not listening, but I was having a conversation.
You know who you are.
I was having a conversation with someone who said to me how he felt really stuck because he couldn't speak about how he was feeling, you know. And this was at my niece's party, by the way. It got really deep, and I said, "Well, here's the thing." I was like, "We're part of a community where depression doesn't exist, right? Because in the Latino community, it's like, you know, you're not depressed, you're okay, you'll get over it." Like my mom would always say that, right? But now she doesn't. Now she understands. But this man in his 40s who's married, who has kids, he's like, I feel like I don't want to, you know, smile anymore because I have kids now and I can't be fun. And I'm like, I was like, that's in your head. And then we kept talking about it. And he said how he just felt like he was being suffocated in a way. And I said, well, I think that there's this idea that when you get married and you have children, you are the man of the house.
But that is your only identity.
Yeah. And that you're masculine and you can't be fun. And because you know, it's like, you know, that's only you. Like, you know, you're what's that saying that I would say? The only thing standing in your way is yourself. And it's like, I'm a huge advocate of speaking. I said to him, if you don't want to talk, you can call me, dude. I was like, I don't have a problem, but you need to speak about these things because if you don't speak about them, you hold on to them.
Well, they eat you alive.
They do. And that's why, I mean, taking it to a complete different perspective, that's why a lot of relationships don't work because people hold on to things and then they hold on to them. And then when there's this fight, it becomes this huge fight and you start throwing everything in. It's like, I have no problem telling you that you ate my burrito and you're an asshole for that. And now, like, it's not cool. And so it's, you know, like you have to talk about those things because it's always a little thing. You crossed
a boundary.
You did. Like, you took my burrito. That's not cool, right? But a lot of people don't talk about those things. And that's what I mean when I talk about mental health. You need to speak. Communication is huge. At a job, at an interview, at your therapy, wherever. You just got to speak and tell, because no one's going to figure out how you're feeling.
Well, also how arrogant I feel sometimes that people are to think that, like, you came home from a war, though. Like, you came home from a war or you lost your mom. Like, these are things that are known traumatic events that if you were to see someone else grieving, you'd be like, yeah, their mom died. But when it comes to yourself, you're like, oh, well, no.
Yeah.
What like, what do you want me to do? Cry about it? Like, well, actually, yeah, because it's like science. Like, it's like mental and it's science. It's like proven facts that letting things out helps you process them.
So I always ask people this question when they say that they hold on their tears and stuff like that. What happens if you hold on your pee?
Exactly.
What happens?
Bladder infection.
You probably get kidney stones. The exact same thing happens when you hold on to feelings.
Yeah.
When you don't let them out.
Mhm.
There's a reason why we have feelings. There's a reason why we feel these things, you know? And if you don't fully express them, and if you not like don't fully live through your truth in that sense, then you're gonna be ill. You're
Well,
gonna
that's
end
what
up hurting
depression
yourself.
is. You carry
Yeah.
like this backpack of
Yeah.
shit that you don't want to tell anyone,
100%.
and you don't know that you can put it down at any time.
You can also just write in journaling.
Yeah,
You know how good that is?
I do.
Ugh. But again, there's this stigma that, you know, what if someone finds a journal, or like what if I tell somebody they judge me? Well,
Yeah.
listen, however people interpret it, that's out of your control.
Mhm.
The whole point is for you to like
It's
speak.
It's
you know?
maintenance.
Yeah.
Like it's maintenance because there is something called spiritual hygiene,
Mm-hmm.
and the same way you need to brush your teeth every day or else your shit's gonna get musty.
Mm-hmm.
You also need to like brush your spiritual teeth.
Yeah.
So that's what I have something called a sunset ceremony. So
Yeah.
during my detox, my way of maintaining my mental health, because most of those days, because when you no longer have a buffer, you actually have to like feel your life, like the things that you have to feel your life. And so I was no longer numb. So it was difficult for me to feel like I wanted to be here. And so I needed something to ground me. I was seeing a healer and a therapist at the same time. And through my healer, I was told that I needed a grounding, I needed a daily practice. And on those days, so it was like all through 2019, and then quarantine, it was like an extension of it. So that was hard in its own way. But my daily practice became my sunset ceremony. And that's where I would go and watch the sunset in Highland Park.
I love that.
And I would write in my journal. The whole first year, the whole 2019 was me learning how to just be quiet. I couldn't even write till 2020. I didn't even start a journal till 2020 again. And because I didn't know how to be quiet. Yeah. And I learned that when I tried to do this, and I was like, this is hard. Like I wanted to get on my phone. I was looking around like, because I never had done things before alone. So it was like I was learning to be quiet. And then once I was learning to be still and listen. That's what I learned the first year. And then the second year, I had always journaled. I'm a poet. So I always write, but I just stopped those things. I stopped doing those things. When you stop taking care of yourself and your mental health declines, it's no surprise. Yeah. It's no surprise. But when you're not paying attention to your life, it's just everything's a surprise. So, I mean, I started this sunset ceremony, and it completely saved me because it gave me something to look forward to. I tell the same story, and it's like I didn't have anything. Like I felt like my life was so chaotic at that time. Like nothing was for sure. Like my mood was up and down. Like I was fighting with my mom. It was like my physical body was like detoxing, so it was like hard physically. Nothing was like for sure. Everything was just chaotic, and the only thing that I could count on every day was that the sun was gonna set. Yeah. And so I at least had that, and I at least had somewhere to go and somewhere that I felt like I connected to like spirit. And like I don't do it every day anymore because I don't need it anymore because I'm getting stronger every day. But it's something that I want to be a part of my life forever, because like I said, it's my spiritual maintenance. Yeah. So I want to know what yours is.
I don't know. I mean, actually, no, I do know. Yeah, it's driving. I started taking a lot of drives. I remember now. Yeah.
That's its own meditation.
When I was able to get like drive again, like I was able to get my car and drive again. The first thing I did was I just drove, and I drove and I drove, and I ended up in Joshua Tree. Yeah, and I like now it's like it's become a thing. And the reason why I said I don't know is because I haven't done it in a while. But I'll just get in my car and I'll drive to a faraway place where there's no city, no lights, and I like watching the stars. I know that sounds like super cliche, but I'm obsessed with space.
Girl, so does the sunset.
Like, I love just looking upstairs. I mean, up there and thinking like, what's going on?
It's medicine. Yeah. Everything we need is already here. It's just whether or not we decide to take those tools and use them. Yeah.
And then I'll just drive in silence because I love just like not thinking about anything. Yeah. And it's amazing. Like I don't know. I didn't even think about it that way now. But now you were just mentioning that it's just driving. I love going on road trips by myself.
It's controlled. It's like controlled time to be alone. Yeah. It's like because it feels appropriate. Because like it was hard for me to be alone at first when I started this season of Self Journey. My first place I ever went by myself, like to take myself on a date, was to the the Louis Vuitton exhibit on Rodeo Drive. That was something I wanted to do, but I didn't have anybody to do it with. And then I was like, those are gonna be the things that I do alone. Like, no, I'm not gonna wait for somebody to take me to this shit. I'm gonna go. And so I went, and I remember it was so difficult for me to be there because of where I was at in my life. I felt like everyone was looking at me.
Yeah.
But actually, no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
So it's like such a process to get through to get through the stages of the spiritual maintenance, like the stages of your journey to self. You know, like we're all just on a journey back to ourselves. And I think that when we create art, when I do these podcasts, when I write, I'm working on my own screenplay.
That's amazing.
When I work on these things and I like let the art out of me, I feel like it changes the world. It's the way I change the world.
And don't you feel the growth when because you're able to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something similar just happened to me. I wouldn't use public restrooms because I would feel that people would be watching me. No, seriously, it's so stupid.
Wait, like with a camera?
No, just in general.
Oh, like people through the door?
Yeah, like it was like or I wouldn't go. Like I would go to McDonald's, but I wouldn't go in there. I would go through the drive-through. Like little things like that. I wouldn't go to the grocery store because I was afraid that people would be looking at me, weird and having body dysphoria and things like that. Just thinking that people are always like looking at me. And then I got to a point where I just kind of didn't care anymore. Again, after 2015. Yeah, I just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to go, like I'm hungry. I'm going to go get food.
It was like a reset.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the gym because I'm sure a lot of people think about it this way, but I wouldn't go to the gym because I would think people would be judging me.
Same.
And now I just go and, it's so weird because like when you become confident about certain things, like you see people end up looking at you, but it's different. And it's like
they're looking at you for a different reason than you initially thought.
Yeah, someone came up to me this morning at the gym and said, "There's something about you that's very like." He's like, this guy said, "He's like, I'm not gay, but there's something about you, like you have this attraction." I was like, "Oh," and that was my response. Like,
"Yeah, you're like I like myself."
I was like, that's "Okay, let me continue," because he came on like tapped me. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Weirdo." And there's me judging him, right?
Mate, are you sure you're not gay?
And there's me judging him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Wait, are you dating anyone?
No.
Okay. So you're single and ready to mingle? Just for anyone watching, hello.
Like a Pringle.
Single like a Pringle. You know what? So, well, just throw it out there. What would be your perfect date?
Perfection doesn't exist though.
Yeah. Well, what would be like the most joyful, like funnest date you could think of?
Just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like over food.
Yeah.
Or not food, but just having a conversation, Yeah. Like it'd be nice to like get to know someone and just talk about, what like turns you, like what really fuels your, your life.
Yeah. Getting to know someone, like knowing them. What
Mm-hmm.
Kind of qualities do you look for in a partner?
I don't think about those things. Because honestly, I think that whenever I get to meet someone, I'm gonna like if it's someone that I automatically have an attraction to and it works out, it'll be for whoever they are, for how they are. So I don't have, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, he needs to have like a
checklist
700 score, like credit score.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. No, it's really just about the chemistry.
Yeah, and it's about like also just again, we have all these ideals of like he needs to have this, and I don't care. Like, look, as long as like you have ambitions for yourself, because I'm not gonna be there to like hold your hand, like we should all have like it should be someone that's already happy on his own, because we'll come together to create new happiness.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not gonna make you happy. I shouldn't be the reason why you're happy.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna like, be working.
You want someone that's also on their self-love thing, like because you don't want to have to
babysit them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone who wants to be better in not just like the, aspirations and all that, but like personally better than what they are. I think people that are stuck in who they are, sometimes they're kind of like, oh, well, I have a temper, but it's like, oh, that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Like these like kind of excuses of like, so it's like, oh, that's not a personality type. It's called an anger management problem.
Yes, like, okay,
that can be fixed. Like it's not just who you are. Like you choose who you are. You didn't just like, they didn't just.
Yeah, it's like someone once told me this is why I have something against Virgos. No offense to any Virgo in here, but I met someone who said to me, "Well, I'm just like very moody because I'm a Virgo." I was like, "No, you're just an asshole." I was like, "You're an asshole, okay?"
Yeah.
It's like he was like, "Mercury's in retrograde." I was like, "I don't care about Gatorade." I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, "I don't care about Mercury and Gatorade." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I don't care." I was like, "You're just an asshole." And then I googled it and I was like, "Oh, okay, I know what that means." But no, people that find excuses to like what is it, to justify their actions?
To stay the same.
No.
Like I have this tattoo. It says evolve.
I love that.
I got this tattoo when I was 18. I actually just did on Friday. I had like 2 presentations for this school, the wonderful school. Like I did like a virtual assembly for middle school and high school. And one of the questions that they asked me was like, which one of your tattoos means the most? And I was like, no one's ever asked me that. Great question. And I said this one, the butterfly with the word evolve. I got it when I was like 18. And with no fucking life experience at all. Like I had no idea why this was the word that I got. Like the symbolism, it just kind of escaped me. It was just like cute at the time. And it was like myself, like my true self was like showing little pieces, like flashing herself at me in these moments. And when I look back, I'm like, wow, this tattoo like really became the theme of my life. Like I think it should be the theme of all of our lives, you know, to continuously evolve. And
because whether you like it or not, it happens. Sorry, but like I just want to say, whether you like it or not, we evolve. It's just your mindset that stays stuck sometimes.
You can accept it or reject it.
Yeah.
And there's so much peace that comes with accepting that part about you. It's like, I think I read a meme that was like, being in love with someone is like attending a million different funerals for the people they used to be. You know, like really loving someone and being okay with the fact that they're not the same person that they were when you met, but it's like we grow together and we grow in love, you know? So anyways, that was a tangent, but thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is like such an easy conversation. Like, did we just become best friends?
Yes.
I think we did. So much room for activities.
I love it. I love it. No, thank you for having me. Oh my God. I love it. I love coming here. You guys are awesome.
My last question is for a little, if you had some words for a little undocumented boy in Torrance growing up right now who wants to be a filmmaker someday, what would you say to that little boy?
Oh, I would say, I feel like I had this, someone asked me the other day. Yeah, I would just tell him not to take anything personal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, it's not about you. It's about them. How they see you. It's about them. That's it. Don't take anything personal.
Yeah. That's a major key alert right there. Major key alert. Do not take anything personal.
Never.
I'm thankful for everyone who watched the podcast today. Thank you for watching the Millennial Mija podcast. Thank you, Jorge, for being here and for bringing so much light. Like you really do just like attract. You just attract and you emanate light. So thank you for being here. That. And yeah, we're gonna be back Sunday, 3:30, live every Sunday. So we'll see you next time. And this has been the Millennial Mija podcast. Bye. Yeah, no, sorry guys. Will you press exit on this? We'll press. Oh, yeah, I got you. Excellent show. Thanks, Mom. Oh, we're still recording, everyone. It's gonna be okay. You guys just forgive me. I'm trying to see.
How do we keep it?
Okay, and then this one. StreamYard, go to Google. Let's recognize it. And broadcast on